Yeah.
You should probably give it 9 to
Is it up and loaded yet? Hi, I'm Auntie Ange, and I'm going to become an agony aunt, and it's for them people who have difficulties in relationships, coming out of relationships, any guidance required. The reason why I'm introducing this little, what I call YouTube or stream or a 10-minute clip, is because I went through a horrendous separation and I had nobody to turn to or guidance, and the people I wanted to speak to with professional, counsellors and that, couldn't help me. So what I thought would be setting up a stream, finally getting around to doing it, and giving people guidance. And hopefully, with the topic today of the exes, partners, and of the pitfalls they cause. So what shall we say? Today's topic is about tactics that the ex-partners use, and to hopefully, with my guidance, you won't fall into the pitfalls. That's a dog. Well, it will be, wouldn't it, really? The way they are sometimes. Pitfalls, and avoid the crossfire, because the last thing we want to do is get you into trouble. And I've, as well as going through my own emotional stress and had anybody to really lean on, I've helped and guided quite a few people. And I just thought it's just so ideal to give people that helping hand. So for starters, I'm going to talk about an instance that a friend of mine had. And I'm going to talk about her situation. And I'm going to rename everybody for their own identity. And what she found out her partner left her for another woman. And then he came back on the scenes. And she didn't really want the relationship to end. So I said, well, give him the benefit of the doubt, and if he's going to be up to no good, he's going to do it again within 6 months, and if he's going to do it again in 6 months, he's going to continue it. Then it's up to you if you want to continue or not. So what she decided to do, give him the opportunity, and within that 6 months, yes, he did it again. I'm going to rename a few people. So I'm glancing over my little notes. So I'm going to call my so-called friend Melissa. So Melissa was there at home having a cup of tea, watching the TV, and then all of a sudden John turned up with Chloe's male friend. Now, John left Melissa for a girl called Chloe, and Chloe had a friend, and he was built as, less terminology, built as a brick shit house. Big, chunky, big bloke. And she phones me up and she goes, I can't believe this. John's just turned up with Chloe's friend Mark. And he's blah, blah, blah. And I tell you now, my friend has got the biggest knockers going. So I turned around to her and I said, go in your bedroom. Do not take the bite, because she could be a feisty little madam. She's a bit strong character. I said, go in your bedroom. Get the most clingiest top you can get that will show off your cleavage. And then when you show off your cleavage, you get on the most trackiest bottoms that you can get around your figure. You go into where Mark and John is, and you say, oh, I'm so sorry that I was in my slogs when you turned up. I wasn't dressed. And then just push your cleavage together and give it that push. And discreetly kind of waddle in the face. And then you can turn around and say, I'm keeping that. I said, but you will know when John is jealous, because you will know the telltale signs of it. And there is nothing he can do to react. Because if he did react, I've got to look at the name here, Mark will then tell Chloe, and Chloe will not be happy with him. So a few minutes afterwards, I get a phone call. Oh, it's so funny, it's working. He's really annoyed. I can see it. I'm really being flirtatious with Mark, and he can't do nothing about it. And I said, well, go over to a box, even though an item, and just discreetly bend over and say, you know what? Is this yours? Oh, no, that's not yours. Offer a cup of tea. Be friendly. Be really flirtatious. And later that evening, I have my phone call off my friend and said, that is the best advice I gave her. She says, I am now here drinking a Malibu and Coke, absolutely laughing my head off about it all. So that's one bit of guidance. So if you are in that similar situation where your partner has left you for another woman, be warned, he is going to turn up with her friend who was built as a house and do the same to you. I know it's horrible, I know it's scary, and you're angry and you're hurting and you're in pain and all that. Do not give that man the satisfaction in calling you a psycho. You're not a psycho, you're just hurting, you're in pain, and he's made you look bad. At the end of the day, he's obviously a douchebag. So that's my first bit of guidance. So if you are in that similarity where that is going to happen to you, or you have a friend who's about to go through a split and you've come across my YouTube, give them that bit of advice. Do not take the bait. Here's another instance with my male friend who, again, changing names because I haven't spoken to him for a while. He is an ex-rugby player. Built as shit. Really big guy. Well, he has a female friend called Michelle. And Michelle went off with this bloke. I don't know his name, so I'm going to call him Paul. So Michelle had an affair with a bloke called Paul who was in a relationship. Paul left his wife to go off with Michelle. Michelle then calls on to Neil. So I'm going to call him Neil, the big friend of mine. We're going to name him Neil. Big bloke, and he's one of them blokes that he doesn't smile. He's all right, throwing in all the time, throwing in. He strokes it, goes with his eyes, like You know, I used to say, for God's sake, Neil, smile. So, and I went out for a takeaway with it. I went for a Chinese meal one day, and I was talking. And he goes, "Oh, Michelle's partner, Mark, who's left. Let me get the name right." Well, obviously, I've called him Mark now. Mark, we're going around Michelle's. Let me start that one again. Right, I'm sitting there in the Chinese talking to my friend Neil, who's Michelle. He's telling me about Michelle, that he had to go around this Josh's house. We're going to call Michelle's partner Josh. Josh left his wife to be with Michelle. So I'm there sitting with Neil. And he says, "Oh, I've just had to go around Josh's ex-wife's house to collect his items." "Oh, she's all right, psycho. She's at this, at me, and this, that, and the other." And first thing I went, "I'm actually quite ashamed of you." What do you mean I'm ashamed? I said, "You were built as a brick house. You're solid. You're 6 foot tall. And don't tell me she's going to be about round my height, and my height is 5'1.5" but she could have been taller, but roughly got to be round. He went, "Yeah." I said, "Does it not occur to you that you intimidated her? And knowing what you're like, you didn't smile, you frowned at her, and you obviously made..." He went, "Yeah." I said, "Do you know what? She most probably wouldn't have lost a rag if you went in there and said, 'Sorry, love, he's come to collect his stuff. I do apologise. We're going to come in, get your things. I understand that you're most probably upset and hurt.'" Because if you said that to her, you most probably saw another side to her. So this is why I'm going to giving people these examples of life, so you can guide other people through it and help them. So you know you're not allowed alone. Sorry, you're not alone going through this, and there are techniques that your exes do across you. There's another one I'm going to say about my friend David. And David, it was a nice bloke. I got to know him because he helped me design a webpage many years ago. And I happened to talk to him the other day, and I spoke to him, and he told me that him and his partner split up, and he can't see his daughter, and it's all a mess on his half. And basically he fell into the other side of the trap, where the wife left him for another bloke. The bloke's quite manipulative, wouldn't let him see his child, so he met them in a park, got talking in the park. He obviously, poor David, got angry, went to the car and then smashed it up, which then gave David rights then to be arrested. And I says to him, I said, oh, I wish we spoke beforehand, because that's the thing I would have said is they set you up to make you lose your temper, to make you cross. I would have wished you never went on the park on your own, and I would have suggested, no matter how angry you are, no matter how much she's pushing you, how much she's telling you you're not going to see your daughter again, you turn around and you should have done that whatever with the hand, gone, speak to you another time when you're in a better frame. And as much as how hungry you're feeling, walk fast back to your car, park your car somewhere else, and go for a little run or a power walk, or do something to let that anger out. Because attacking his car, damaging it, you actually fell for the trap. And that's what he wanted. So he then found it more difficult to get custody of his own daughter. So these are the things that I want to help people out with, give guidance, support with. I've been there again with my own ex. I've had him trying to get me wrongly arrested. I've had social services on my doorstep, and I never took the bait. Not once did I take the bait of my ex. But I do remember phoning certain lines up and saying, I'm going through this. And all the response was, well, you seem to be managing, so you don't need our help. But what I would have appreciated was somebody to turn around and say, you're doing the right thing. See, my ex-partner's got the silver tongue. So no matter what I would come out with, no matter what I would say, I would have always been treated like a liar. So these are the guidance that I want to give. So people who have got a partner, who's got the silver tongue, who's got the gift of the gab, who constantly makes you look bad, I want to guide you to say, please don't take the bait. They're not worth it. And that's what I've done. I've never took the bait. When I've had the police on my door, I've been polite, I've been friendly. When I've had social services on the door, I've been polite, I've been friendly, I welcome them in, I have chin wags. So as I do more and more of the podcasts or streaming, I will divulge of my example, what I've gone through, so people know you're not alone. And by all means, start contacting me. Tell me your experience, what you would like, what you're going through now, how you would like to handle it. And I give you two options. And I've always done that with my friends. I've always given friends with my options. I say, well, we can go down this road or this road. You decide how you think about it. I get more of an inkling if I have a surrounding what people are like. Because there's nothing worse is when you're going through a breakup and you're going through all that emotional pain, and then you have rubbish on top. So hopefully we will get more interaction with you all. Hopefully this will help you out, let you know you're not alone. And this is why I decided to do the podcast, to give help out there when it's required, because not all counsellors know it, do they, unless you've gone through it and experienced it. So for now, I hope you take some guidance from Melissa and John. Melissa, my friend, who sitting there minding her own, and John turns up with Chloe's mate Mark, and and even if you've got a bit of a small boob, the little grapes, showing a bit of cleavage up to here, get your bra. So what my advice is, ladies, when you first split up, go out there, get yourself a decent bra, because you never know when he's going to come knocking on that door, and pump these babies up. And then, so when you do get that knock, I'm here with my stuff, with my mate, to get my stuff out of the house. You quick dive in the bedroom, you get that bra, and you pump it up, and you have so much fun getting your cleavage. And so hopefully you take that a bit of advice. Any male friends out there that go with the female friends, like for example, we're going to say Neil's scenario where he went with Michelle's boyfriend Josh back to Josh's ex-wife. Smile, be polite, be kind. She might be losing her temper. You are setting foot into a lady's house, and you men are quite intimidating at times, and you never know, she might be an attractive bird. Give her a bit of a smile. Apologise that you're doing it. Say, I don't really want to do it, but I'm helping him out. And you never know, you could end up with a spark with her. You never know where love was going to strike, and you go in there and you have that friendliness and you say, By the way, I'm sorry about this. I do apologise. Can I make it as much comfortable as I can while I'm helping take his stuff? And just apologise. And you might think, well, he's a nice bloke. And you never know what's down the corner. 6 months down the line, you could be bumping into her in a pub. You get chin-wagging away. You re-apologise for doing it. You never know. Love might come in the air with that one. So remember that one, men. Don't forget that one in a hurry. And the final one was about my friend Dave with the attacking the car. Remember, women can just be as bad and nasty, especially with the wrong bloke. So please don't take the bait there. Anything you want to come to in future with me, please drop a line. Let's start interacting next week. I will be online Monday from 6 o'clock every Monday onwards. Unless we get more popular, then I will interact more, be online longer, and give you the support best way I can. And if you're one of them couples that you split and you keep sending social services on your doorstep, allow them in. Don't be horrible to them. And I'll tell you a few stories I've had to deal with social workers next week on our podcast. So until then, keep in touch and start enjoying it. And remember, don't take the bait.